Alright, I am here to crawl out of the depths of apartment purgatory to review this game that isn't very good, called Assassin's Creed 2. It might also just be that, you know, I'm not going to be in a great mood right now, regardless, so, yeah. Before we get into any annoying details, let's jump right in, see what happens. Starts out with a multiple face disclaimer, kind of pointless here. It's here because it was in the last game, which took place in an Arab country, and we all know that every time you mention one of these words, a kitten dies. But now we're in the fucking Renaissance. If we were genuinely worried we might upset Italians, wouldn't we have started worrying, 20 years ago?
Pasta power!
It's me, a stereotype.
A little piece of spaghetti on your overalls.
You, Luigi. And you have a little bit of spaghetti sauce on your shirt, as usual.
So for those who don't know, it's sort of quasi-sci-fi, but you're going through memories, DNA, blah, 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 blah. Here's the game. It's a fucking sandbox game that's supposed to also be a pseudo-platformer with climbing and jumping around and shit, and it's not very good. Goodbye. Alright, let's go to stupid shitty details. First thing we should get to is the graphics are kind of bad. Sure, it might look good, like shrunk down to a still frame on a box, or shrunk down to an internet video or whatever. Yeah, it looks alright. And on a standard def TV, I'm sure it would probably look pretty good, I guess. But we know these games are supposedly HD. Ooh, HD. Well, it doesn't look very fucking D to me. Unless I'm H. The frame rate and VSync on both systems is downright pathetic and some of the worst I've seen on the current console generation at all. At all. Even the map is choppy. Look at this. Ugh. Also, the pop-ups, not just like geometry pop-ups, but like texture resolution pop-ups is some of the worst I've ever seen. Like embarrassingly bad. The last time I saw a pop-up this bad, Far Cry Vengeance. Speaking of resolution, I just like to say, we all know the back of pretty much every 360 game says 1080p because they have a built-in upscaler. So regardless whatever the native resolution is, it will output to your TV in 1080 more or less. But the PlayStation's supposed to be more, oh no, we'll let you figure it out and let your TV upscale it, you know, a bit more complicated maybe, but maybe you'll get a better whatever in the end. Which means that they should not say 1080 for everything, which is how they supposedly do it. Here, look, Uncharted 2, also graphics, but 720. Honest. So look here. Oh, it's Assassin's Creed 2. Oh, 1080. That's nice.
All lies.
I know that this might be annoying, nitpicky shit, and I don't consider myself a crazy videophile or anything, but I'm particularly mad here at Sony because, look at this. This is E3 2005, talking about all this bullshit. 1080. Talked for like 3 fucking hours about how the PS3's gonna be great and the 360 wasn't shit, and everyone else can go fuck himself in a bathroom or whatever. 1080. That's all we fucking heard. 1080. And that was a big part of why they were saying, well, it's $600. I know it's $299 now, but it doesn't matter. It was a $600 console, and you had to make up for that price, and you said,
Resolution. This is the digital era.
oh, 1080, blah, 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 blah. What do we get? We get 720. Almost everything on all these consoles is actually not even 720 native, but like fake 720. And 1080, we're lucky to get meow. I say meow. Much like the last one, I do honestly feel a lot of effort went into art direction. It's really the only place it kind of did an okay job with, only graphics are still kind of bad. I mean, like, look at Prototype. You know, graphics in some respects weren't as good, but the game engine was more solid, so you had a better frame rate. This is one of those really dumbed down control schemes to try and make it, like, accessible, which is another word for bad. And even though you got all these nice buttons on these, look at all these nice buttons. You really only use a couple for almost everything you do. As a result, all this climbing, see all this shit? Look at that. It looks kind of cool. Animations aren't bad and everything, you know, but ultimately, you can do all this just holding down 2 buttons and pressing forward. You could do crazy shit for 10 minutes going across a whole city just holding that down, which means you can effectively do all this cool shit without ever being there, just leaving a book on the controller. But it wouldn't be you playing, would it? It would be the Bone Anthology, because it's heavy and awesome. You'll try and climb up a wall, but because everything's kind of pseudo done for you, you can't do anything specific. You have to kind of like purposefully muddle all your movements so the game will recognize what you're trying to do and then finish your thought.
What on earth is he up to?
Just frustrating and stupid. Let me put it this way, right? Okay, it's a pseudo platformer and there's no jump button. No jump button! None! There's auto jump. That's how you jump. Auto jump. You hit a ledge and auto jump. And this auto jump isn't very good. A lot of the time jumping off ledges, you'll go the wrong fucking way because you kind of have to muddle your movement so the game can guess where you want to fucking go. You know what I like? Fucking jump buttons. See what I'm fucking talking about here? Ugh.
I see why they fear you.
Because auto jump is auto jump, there's a separate pounce button, but only if you're at the right direction. So people you'll try and pounce on, you'll just end up dry humping 5 times before you get the pounce right. Just retarded, frustrating, broken bullshit. Everything's context sensitive. Again, not to be a broken record, but Zelda only does this with really one of their buttons, and they do it well. These guys here try to do it with a bunch of buttons, and it's horrible. Ugh! I hate shit like this, you know? It's like whenever money goes into shit, it gets dumbed fucking down. It's just ridiculous. In movies, it's plot and dialogue and scenery. In games, it's shit like controls and plot and dialogue and scenery. You can call it Michael Bay syndrome or whatever. That's what ruined the Prince of Persia franchise, you jerks. You better not make it. God damn it. Moving on, story, not great. AI in combat. Sure, it seems kind of cool and complicated when you can do stuff like, oh, hire some prostitutes and walk around with them and distract people and then do it again and again and again because it doesn't really change all that much and the simple device is way overused. Anyways, combat is plain broken. AI will stand around you and do nothing or go in for ye old sword bukkake. It's sluggish, pseudo-contextual shit that can't really do it the right times when you wanna, and they try and do the like lock-on thing, but after playing Demon Souls where they got it really right and had a stamina bar that like mattered, what a filthy mess. Sometimes stuff looks kind of cool, but it's just like you were standing in a lucky spot or something. It's not really, you didn't really do it, you know? Style over substance, and it doesn't look that great anyway. It's shitty graphics. People don't really even notice shit a lot of the time. It just breaks the illusion.
I can't go that way.
There's some extended gameplay crap where, you know, you pick up a million pickupables, which admittedly good sandbox games also do, but they'll do with like a thing. When there's all this shit and shards and shiny shit lying around, just feels like another banana. Also, one of the collectibles is this posters for reputation. You know, like wanted posters and shit. But shouldn't a wanted poster be where people can see it and not hidden in the weird crevice above a house next to a wall under the whatever? Who stopped fucking caring at this point? I don't know how long I'm gonna talk about this fucking thing. There might be a chicken in here. I don't know. I didn't play long enough to care. There's a horse. Yay, horse. I heard a lot of talk about like, oh, it's extended, there's more missions and shit, but like most sandbox games, you can just look at the exclamation point and go. There's a villa tacked on money system, but who cares? People talk about how this is a big improvement over all the flaws of the first game. You know what the flaws of the first game were? All the ones I just fucking listed. Look, ultimately, this game's a piece of shit. Everything about it is an unfinished beta at best. I do not understand. I do not how this is so popular. I think just people hype themselves into liking it because they thought it should be good, and a lot of people who suck at games and can't do actual controls, like, say, better sandboxes that came out the same year feel like, oh, this is kind of fancy, so it must be me doing it. Kind of like that climbing shit in Uncharted 2. But unlike Uncharted 2, where the climbing is either separate or slightly integrated for multiplayer, here, the climbing and jumping and shit are totally essential to everything you do, and they're bad. A sequel to a bad game that's still bad gets me particularly mad, because the first one is the publisher's fault, but this is the sequel. This one's your fault. Once a philosopher, twice a pervert. Alright, I got more apartment bullshit to deal with, so I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. It's time for a stupid fucking award. Lady Gaga Award. 'Cause really? You're all here? I don't get it. Fucking jump